Modular smartphones. Definition. A smartphone made using different components that can be independently upgraded or replaced in a modular design. What's really important on what I just said? To most people, it's the idea of independently upgrading a part when it goes bad. For example, you just bought the amazing LG G6, but a few months down the road, the Snapdragon 835 chipset comes out, which we see in the Galaxy S8. And you suddenly feel that your phone is slower or a lot less powerful because it has the older Snapdragon 821 chipset. Instead of having to go out and spend nearly $1,000 on a new phone, such as the S8, with that chipset, wouldn't it be amazing to just switch out that processor for the newer 835? Well, in the concept of modularity, that is possible. We saw this modular smartphone in 2016, such as the LG G5 and the Moto Z lineup, but they were complete failures in terms of modularity. But why is that? For tech heads like myself, when I think of modularity, I think of Google's Aura project. We saw this around 5 years ago, back in 2012. The idea was that the user would be able to buy a $50 base phone and would be able to slide on different modules such as the CPU, GPU, camera, processor, RAM, ROM, etc. And whenever the user needed something new, he or she would be able to get the latest and greatest module, which would update the phone and overall save the user some money. But as costs and time spiraled, the vision was changed, making it look like LG's idea of a modular phone. A fully functioning smartphone that can have capabilities added on. On April 23, 2016, LG released the LG G5 to the public, calling it a modular phone because you can switch out the regular battery with different parts such as a 360-degree VR camera and less promising zoom lens camera. The mentality was pretty good, thinking that if you need a better camera or a better overall experience, you can just switch it out instead of having to buy a new phone with a better camera. Later finding out that you don't like that new phone's camera too much. But what did LG do wrong that made it modularity concept fail? I think the reason was because it was too much work to the user. For example, the process was you have to take the battery out of the phone, put it onto the new module, and slide that new module back into the phone. To the regular user, that's way too much work, and not to mention that it restarts the phone. LG themselves called the LG G5's modularity design a failure and later on ditching it in the LG G6. The Moto Z lineup felt a little more promising, and even though we can't call it a total failure, it wasn't really successful either. For the lineup, essentially you got different modules to snap on to the back of your phone, such as there were speakers, cameras, and a projector module. Thinking about it, it's so cool that you can carry a projector around with you, and whenever you need to show someone something, you can just project it on your phone by snapping on the module, and now it's being projected. However, the problem that I see, that it was really expensive. For the projector alone, the cost was around $300, which was just about half of the phone's value. The price of the module was the main reason why it didn't sell too much. The speaker was around $129, the projector around $300, and once you build up those costs, it's almost as much as the phone costs itself. However, in general, there are some really big benefits and advantages of using a modular phone in a perfect world, such as cost saving, customization, and future-proofing. Let's take all of those one by one. First off, as I said, Google's Aura project, the user would be able to save a ton of money by not having to buy the latest and greatest phone from a company, just a better processor or a better camera module. Even if the module itself was $100 for, let's say, the camera, it's much more economical to buy a $100 processor over a $700 brand new phone that has that processor that you want. Essentially, the user has to buy just one base phone for around $50, and that will suit them for probably their whole life because all you have to do is just slide on a new module and it's a new phone basically. Next is customization. Having a phone to your exact likings is amazing. If you want an amazing camera for Instagram or Snapchat, you got it. If you want an amazing processor to make your phone faster, you have that as well. There are so many possibilities with modular smartphones. However, as we've seen over time, the public isn't too interested in that stuff. because there are over 700 million iPhones in the world, about 100 million just in the US. It's safe to say that most people want a normal mainstream phone with not too much future-proofing or customization. As I've said before, the future-proofing that modular smartphones have is amazing. Let's say you just bought the OnePlus 3, not the 3T, but just the regular 3. It's an amazing phone for the fraction of the cost of a flagship. However, with the budget cost, that's amazing. There are some sacrifices that you have to make, however. The camera on the regular 3 is not the best. If it was a modular phone, essentially all you would have to do is just switch the camera for a newer, futuristic camera such as the Google Pixel or the Samsung Galaxy S8's camera. And if you got tired of having to use the Bixby button on the Galaxy S8, you could just program the button on the side to do something a lot more useful, such as launching the Google Assistant. All in all, the concept of modularity isn't impossible, but there's still a ton of work and research needed. I think if Google resumes their Aura project, which was cancelled on January 10th of 2017, they can be extremely successful in this market. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.